Well, Sky News understands that the British man shot and killed in an armed robbery in Buenos Aires is 50-year-old businessman Matthew Gibbard. Mr. Gibbard and his 28-year-old stepson, who was also shot and injured, were confronted outside a luxury hotel in the Argentinian capital. More than 100,000 British nationals visited Argentina last year. Most visits passed without incident. However, street crime, including armed robberies, is a problem, particularly in the capital. Well, let's get the very latest for you now. Joining me now from Lanzarote is Lloyd Figgins. He is an independent travel safety expert. Thank you for your time here on Sky News. We have to be a bit cautious because, of course, the details are still not exactly clear. But regardless, a terrible crime. Have you been aware of tourists in Buenos Aires being targeted in this way before?
It is a terrible crime, Emma, and yes, the fact of the matter is crime rates in Argentina are actually rising. Where the murder rate has actually dropped over the last 12 months, there has been an increase of 300 more violent crimes have occurred in Argentina in just 1 year. And what we're seeing is that the criminals are actually targeting specific things, and particularly passports, money and documents that are going to be of value to them.
And again, unconfirmed reports, Lloyd, that this family may have been targeted as soon as they left the airport, and there may have been a support vehicle used as well as the moped. I mean, it makes it all the more concerning, doesn't it?
Well, it is concerning because all criminals are becoming a lot more organised, and we're starting to see now that they are having insiders working for airlines where they're actually getting the manifest of a particular flight in order that they can see who the business class travellers are, where they might be staying, and then targeting their vehicle from the moment they leave the airport and knowing exactly which hotel they're going to. And that in itself creates a choke point and makes it very easy for the criminals to target people.
The US State Department saying on their website that there's been a marked increase of violent crimes, specifically 300 more crimes last year using mopeds. This seems to be a real problem for this city.
It is, and it's not just confined, actually, to Buenos Aires. There's also, places like Cordoba and Mendoza in Argentina. They're seeing the same spike. And the gangs that are using these motorcycles, they're called motochorros, and they are targeting people and particularly tourists because tourists tend to make a little bit more of a softer target for them. But that doesn't mean that business travellers aren't also going to be a big target as well.
Buenos Aires is a very popular city, particularly at this time of year. A lot of Europeans may be heading there to get some summer sun. People could be watching this and now asking, is it safe? What would you say to them?
Well, I think we've got to take it into context. I mean, one of the reasons I'm here in Lanzarote is because of the fact that I'm conducting security reviews for a number of different hotels. And when we look at our own safety, we've got to have that situational awareness to our surroundings and make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep ourselves safe. But when you're looking at hotels, I mean, this hotel is in the Puerto Madero area of Buenos Aires, which is actually the old docks area, and it's been part of a massive redevelopment. And of course, what happened is there's been a massive amount of reinvestment into the area, a lot of five-star hotels going up. And of course, that just draws the criminals into those areas because they see rich pickings.
So how should people stay safe?
Well, first of all, we need to look at where we're going, what the area is like, but not just the area we're staying in. Actually have a look at some of the areas around that as well, and look at your transportation routes in there. How many choke points are there? Are you traveling at night? All of these things are going to make a big difference. Now, the other thing is, look at what you're carrying with you. One of the things that is striking me about this particular case, if these people were coming from the airport, when you're coming from the airport, you are actually quite vulnerable because you don't know the area. You've also got all your valuables with you, including your passport, including your money, including your credit cards. So we've got to make sure that we are making ourselves a harder target as we possibly can by making sure that we're using authorised drivers, not just taking a taxi from the airport or a minicab. Get the hotel to actually organise a pickup for you. And where possible, stay in a hotel where they have a gated community so that when you're getting out of that vehicle, you're not doing so on the street, you're doing so guide are doing so inside a secure compound.
OK, good advice. Thank you very much for joining us there. Lloyd Figgins, an independent travel safety expert, live from Lanzarote.